Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome to the Sunday Supplement. Just a few topics to go through today. Gear 6 apparently been leaked, Call of Duty, NFTs, and a few other things. First of all, apologies if I'm looking a little bit rough. To be honest, not feeling that great the past couple of weeks. I won't get into it, but just one of those, feeling a bit run down, bit mardy, you know what I mean? And well, I guess you don't deserve me at my best if you can't put up with me at my worst. So, we'll just begin. I just wanted to get some sort of video out for you guys. We'll begin with Gear 6 because obviously, most people here are interested in Gear 6. Now, you remember in the last video I put out about the NVIDIA GeForce leak. NVIDIA GeForce is like the graphics card program. It kind of has a tile system that lets you sort of modify your games, and it adds games to the list, and it has profiles for games. This has been leaked, and you can look into the sort of workings of the way this grid system is set up and see a load of tiles and games and future coding for future tiles of games to be popped in there. That's the way I understand it. And the last few that I revealed were accurate. They were accurate. So this time, are they going to be accurate again? We had the GTA trilogy, and we had a variety of other games that I called and were indeed correct, from the leak. This time they're saying that Gears of War is going to debut on November 10th, 2022. And that is what they're going off. The Gears 5 developer has confirmed a new IP. Obviously, as we know, they said that they're working on something that's not Gears. It's not a particularly important date. November the 10th. For Gears of War, I believe it came out November 6th or 7th. I'll just go ahead and check that right now. It was November 7th. So it does seem maybe strange to leak something on the 10th of November, 2022. To add some maybe credibility or not credibility, the leak does include a variety of lists of games. Some being, well, somewhat pleasing, and some being a little bit more skeptical. So to give you an idea of some of the games, it called Ghost of Tsushima as a PC port, Batman Arkham Insurgency. It's got a Returnal PC port, which I'd be interested in, on April the 30th. Dragon Age in June 2022. We've got Company of Heroes 3 on September 2022. Hellblade 2. Interestingly, on October, they've called it Ratchet and Clank. The PC port will be coming out on the 3rd. Now, where it does lead a bit of, shall we say, maybe not true, and again, we'll talk about Gear 6 a little bit more in depth, but it does call certain games, say, for example, Path of Exile 2 on November the 30th. Now, you know me, I've played a ton of Path of Exile. I used to be a bit of a PoE channel. Don't play it so much anymore. Still dabble in it, but GGG, which are the company Grinding Gear Games that make Path of Exile, they're sort of working on this current league. They're working on leagues, and during the background, they're working on PoE 2. Now, the thing with PoE 2 is there's like open betas, beta testing, all this kind of stuff that's going to go on. And having followed their development closely, there is realistically no way that PoE know when they will be finished and ready to launch. I don't think there will be anything penciled in for a November 30th. I can't see that. So the fact that they're penciling in Path of Exile, as well as some other games on here that do seem a little bit like Monster Hunter, if I could read, July 2023. Some of them just seem a little bit far-fetched, such as a Fable 4, late 23. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Now, if we go into one of the most exciting ones, would be October 2024, would be Crysis. but I will be a very old man at that point, and I don't think I'll be playing an FPS game at that point, to be honest. However, let's talk Gears 6 just for a touch. Again, appreciate those that have been tuning into the videos and supporting. It's a bit hit and miss, I understand. Some people are obviously happy I'm covering the other things. Some people are upset and they want to rage dislike. That's okay. That's entirely your prerogative. I'm still going to make the videos I want to make. You know, you voice, if you like the videos, then like them to help them, you know, keep going. If everyone doesn't like them, then I guess I'll stop. But, you know, I kind of just do what I want to do, to be honest. So Gears 6, let's think about this. The devs are working on a new IP. Now, if we think about this logically, let's think about it logically. Gears of War launched a couple years ago, Gears 5. Now, if it launched a couple years ago, I don't think when they launched it, they were building Gears 6. I don't think that was the case. Now, it did have a rocky launch, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well. I would say what ended up happening was I had a really big launch, and number-wise, it did quite well. Then a lot of stuff happened, and instead of to lead credence to the leak, instead of pulling everything and saying we're going to spend the next 2 years making Gears 6, what they did was they spent a good 6 to 7 months trying to turn the boat around. Unfortunately, they couldn't turn the boat around. Staff left, people left. You know, what was said is said. And now we're in maintenance mode. It's been announced that there's no real updates and the game's done. Basically, the only people left playing the game are like people that just want to get some pointless skins or whatever they're doing, right? So there's not much going on now at Gears. So you could now say that they've really began to put their full effort into Gears 6. But with them having quite a large launch and quite a poor launch that they tried to turn around, I don't think they were working on Gears 6 at all. Maybe not at all, but, you know, not to a full level. And I don't think they'll be building Gears 6 in a year. So I would be very surprised if Gears 6 would come out in pretty much a year's time. However, we have seen how rapidly a game can be made. So to play on the devil's advocate side, Call of Duty comes out every year, right? And they still work on the current game for a year. Now, Gears of War has had 2 years, and then there would be another year until this releases. So that could be 3 years. Let's say they tried for 6 months on Gears 5 and then ditched it. It could be 2.5 years. That's honestly realistic to make a campaign with a massive team size like TC would have for a big Xbox exclusive IP. And with it, say, being like a Call of Duty multiplayer like we know it is, it's just a cut-paste, uninspired multiplayer these days. They could just do a very similar multiplayer, not worry about it too much, and just slap it in there. I don't think there's going to be like some battle royale or some crazy new mode. I think it's going to be more of the same, to be honest, if it comes out. And you could do that in 2.5 years. I don't think it will happen, but it's possible that it could do. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but I would err on the side of caution when thinking about Gears 6. So let me know what you think about that, because there's arguments for and against it. More against it, but you could definitely argue Gears 5 it felt very abandoned very quickly. The only thing that, apart from the other things I've mentioned, is the only thing that really would lean me towards that is I think they were so bothered about saving face with Gears 5. As if they were working on Gears 6, I think they'd have mentioned it at some point. Like, hey, there might be a bit less content because we're doing something else. They didn't. So I'd be surprised, but maybe. Next on the agenda is a pretty abysmal one. Is, you know, my opinion on NFTs. Now, if you don't know what an NFT is, it's basically like a token that says you own this thing, and it's forever stored on a public ledger called the blockchain. So basically, once you own that token, it's yours. It can never be altered, removed. So the theoretical thing is, if everyone's on this blockchain, you could say, hey, this gamer tag owns this skin with this blockchain number, and then you could sell that blockchain number to somebody, or you could do something like make a new account and then send yourself over those NFT tokens and get all of your skins on the other account. There are some real life uses for NFTs, and they're not all scams. However, the current way they're working is somebody gets a picture, they make a picture or a piece of artwork, and they sell it as a one-off copy, right? For an extraordinary amount that someone buys in the hopes that one day it becomes valuable, like a Picasso, and it's artificially inflated to become valuable. But what's happened is people are churning out crap and selling it and then saying, hey, it's a one-off exclusive. But the thing is with this, is if I made a painting of this glass with this lemon in and sold it for 10 Ethereum for like £30,000, right? I could say this is a one-off part of the Z collection. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to be bringing out this exclusive collection. You can own it. You can own the very first Z NFT. And it's going to be super expensive and it's going to be super popular and everyone's going to love it. And it's only going to go up in value because you own the only one. Now, the problem with that is everybody can go and download a perfect copy of this picture right here, right now, for free. The only thing that you're getting is a token that says, hey, you own it. And really, the ownership doesn't really matter that much because everyone has a perfect copy. It's not like if I had an original Picasso at home and people are buying prints, I would still have the original. The difference would be like if somehow you could perfectly replicate an original with all the paint strokes and everything and sell that, right? It's not the same as owning an original, and they're a complete scam. Right, so going about it in an arse-about-face way, why am I talking about it? Well, I'm talking about it because EA, in their most recent earnings call, have called NFTs and blockchain games the future of the industry. We've already seen Facebook rebranded to be called the Metaverse or whatever shite it's called. Basically put your 3D goggles on and fucking wank each other off in the office about how fucking special the Metaverse is going to be. Not understanding that Facebook's core audience are a bunch of boomers that aren't going to be sat wearing 3D goggles and AR goggles and shit. So when EA calls NFTs the future, and I know that NFTs are a scam, I just think, here we fucking go. Here we go. It's going to be some bullshit scam. Like, buy them the one-off pack of these NFTs, blah, blah. I just feel like, am I just going to go play single-player games from the year 2001 to the year 2008 maybe, and just play old games for the rest of my life? Because these new games sound tragic. Speaking, and lastly, just again keeping this one short, the last topic is Call of Duty Vanguard. The reason I talk about Call of Duty Vanguard is because it has had a few issues crop up from what I've been reading about. And the way I think about it is Call of Duty has been the same game, give or take, for the good part of coming up to, let's be honest, like 20 odd years now almost. You know, they've been going some time. And it's the most formulaic copy-paste game possible. I don't think that game should be launching with any issues. Like, should it? It just shouldn't. They should have it down by now. Like, it can't, like, I'm not going to say it can't be that difficult because I understand how ridiculous it is to build a game and ship a game and all the issues that can crop up. But, like, actual, like, major issues and, you know, stuff should not be cropping up. A little mini example of this is, like, the good with the bad. So, zombies, you know, like when you used to play zombies, it would host migrate and you could all get kicked out and lose everything. Well, now zombies is going to use dedicated servers. So that's really good news, right? They've finally fixed it. There's also a problem with pausing the game. You can't really pause the game at all. And unless you're constantly moving, you get kicked for inactivity. They're trying to fix this. But if you're playing a long zombie game, you want to pause and go eat food or grab a drink, you're probably not going to be able to do that. And it's just one of those things where these big games release. I was thinking to myself, I got Cold War free with my graphics card. I played the campaign and enjoyed it. Available to members on YouTube if you're interested, the full video. And I played a bit of multiplayer. I think I got up to the Prestige 2 or 3. And I played a bit of the larger maps with the boats, and then I put it down. And it feels like I put it down for a couple of weeks, played a couple, like a month or two of Warzone, played a bit more, played some more free for all of Cold War, and then I blink, and there's another Call of Duty out. And it's crazy, man. I know it's not really news and all of that, but yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. So I guess we can talk about two other things, or maybe, yeah, let's talk about two other things because I can relate it back to me. So apparently, Belle Delphine, the gamer girl, has been banned from YouTube for. She's never had a strike, but she's been banned for sexual content. Now, the issue with this really is she did that music video. I won't speak about it because it might get me banned, but she's done that music video that we all know what it is. And we've also had people like Leafy banned without warning. So Belle Delphine was banned without warning. And it really has got to this point where there's just a huge amount of hypocrisy. And I guess I'm a little bit tired of the internet. So an example is, how do I word it? There are so many sexualized channels on YouTube. Like, you only need to know what ASMR is, or what a try-on is, or what a try-on haul is, or what a quote. I saw something the other day, which was pretty funny, was this channel that, how would you word it? They like gym-tested clothes, right? And the video begins, and it's like this dude, and he's like saying, yep, this gym shirt is like decent, whatever, right? And then you go on the channel, and it's got a shit ton of subscribers. And I'm like, okay, how have they got so many subscribers here? 90% of their videos are like women doing legging testing. Oh, sorry, not legging testing, like squat testing. Are these leggings good enough to squat in? Are you going to get seen? Which is basically an excuse to wear like the skimpiest outfit and squat. And if Belle Delphine is getting banned for sexual content when there actually isn't any on YouTube, you can't really do sexual content on YouTube. It's all about like the tease, isn't it? It's just kind of like, it is that double standard, and I'm a bit sick of it. It's like you have people like the CSGO scammers that did the CSGO skin lotteries, Syndicate, T Martin, Josh OG, people that were also paid, to promote that company. They're all millionaires today, all still making content. Nothing comes of it. And you are at the mercy of the platform. For example, myself, 11 years ago, I made a blog on Google, and a couple subscribers clicked a couple of the adverts. I didn't ask them to. They just thought, hey, I've watched his videos on his blog. I'll click an advert and help him out. I got banned for invalid clicks 11 years ago, and I'm still banned today. Now, you could look at my channel and say no warnings, tries to do his best kind of videos he can, all this stuff, but I'm banned because the robotic system doesn't like me. When you speak to support, they're not interested because you're a nobody. And you basically reach this point on the internet where you're either a nobody and get no help, the algorithm blows up and it helps you, or you go the other way and you get too big and they just want to get rid of you, like a Leafy or like a Belle Delphine. I'd prefer them to just say, listen, you haven't done anything wrong on the platform technically, but we'd like to remove you from the platform because it's not something we want. You're going to have a 2-month notice to tell your friends, tell your followers where you're going. you know, a bit like a here's your 2 weeks notice, mate, or like, you know what I mean? Like they put it in for them. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of hypocrisy on the internet. And lastly, it says PewDiePie's kind of retired from YouTube. Now, I don't know if PewDiePie is retiring. He's probably not, to be honest, because I think he just enjoys the internet. I think he honestly just genuinely enjoys the internet. But I don't know. I read some rumors that apparently he's retiring. I feel like he retires all the time. But I feel like, you know, I feel like, how do I word it? He's not really doing YouTube. He's just doing his own thing. And he's so famous, he can do whatever he wants. Like, if he wants to just make videos on toy cars for the rest of his life, he could do, and people will watch it. You know, he can do whatever he wants, can't he? And I think that's what it gets to on the internet. You know, I'm reading an article here as I'm clicking through. Shroud says Twitch could ban him and he wouldn't care. Well, Shroud wouldn't care if he was banned by Twitch, because when he moved to Mixer, he was paid $41 million, and then he came back to Twitch, and I think on the list he was making, I can't think of the exact number, but multiple millions. The guy's very, very rich, tons of sponsorship. He doesn't need Twitch. He can retire, never play a video game again, go in his mansion, disappear off into the sunset and live a lovely life and have generational wealth. And there's like, yeah, it obviously, I feel like some things I don't understand why they make headline news, but I don't think people realize quite how big some people get. But like Belle Delphine's finding out, sometimes you can get too big and then you become a problem. It's a bit like Gears of War, isn't it? You get ever so slightly more views than the average person, all of a sudden they want to shut you up, don't they? Do we know about that? So yeah, that's your Sunday supplement. I'm not feeling that great. I don't want to talk about it. I managed to get the video out. I'm going to post it. There's not going to be any editing. I hope you enjoy it. Hope it brings some sort of joy to your day, to your evening, to your lunch break. If it does, leave me a comment and a like. I could really do with it this week. Appreciate it, guys.